All right. If you didn't see there, we have Jay in the chat, so we can switch to some constructed now. For those of you who haven't been here on Fridays, we've been doing a draft, and then if it ends anytime after 11:30, we switch gears and do some constructed. In this case, I'm going to get Skype opened up here and bring Jay on if he's ready. And then I'm going to let him speak to what he did this week while I actually go and update Stream Decker with his latest so that I can let you command your way to the deck. Right now, if you do the deck command, it shows the midweek version of this deck that Jay worked on for his homework assignment. But he's updated it since then, so we're gonna go and we can discuss Pauper too, and how to approach the new Pauper format. But we definitely want to look at the submersible deck, and then maybe we'll try and build something for the Pauper. Let's call Jay, though.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jay.
How's it going?
Good. Let's share this. Hey, Jay.
How's it going?
Well, I think you've got the stream audio on, so it's starting to echo there.
There we go.
All right, it's got that taken care of. So, Submersible was a challenge at first, huh?
It was. Submersible. I thought, honestly, all right, Submersible, this is easy. I mean, especially, I'm coming off of Harhelion, and so this shouldn't be a problem at all. So I first tried to build the deck off of, going something like the Merfolk deck. And I thought, that's going to be a shoo-in. This could be really good. It was terrible. I mean, it was awful. I blew probably 2 tiers of gold rank off of it, trying to get that thing to work.
That's not great.
It's okay. Then I decided, so I have one of the things one of these days we'll get to. I have a really cool blue-black creature deck I play with occasionally. It basically plays the good stuff, and it does the neat thing where it uses a lot of -1 effects and counters, and it uses the flying merfolk to turn someone into a -1/-1. And it's got the AE, the area effect -1/-1 effect in black creature. Anyway, I thought that'd be a perfect place for it. It was terrible with it too. And along the way, one of the people who I work with at Fire Opal, his name's Jason, said, "Hey, I've been playing a little bit with Submarine in my Tezzeret style deck. And I had already tried that a little bit, and that wasn't working well, but there were a couple of good ideas he had. And from the discussion, I got sort of re-inspired, and I sort of found a direction which sort of combines the sub with a Tezzeret Artificer deck, and it's kind of neat because either Karn will animate him. And that's super cool because one of them automatically makes it 2/2, and the other one animates the artifact itself, and so it's attacking as an animated artifact, not as an equipped artifact.
Right, not as a crude vehicle.
Which is although ironically becomes a 2/2.
Yeah.
But it still has the effect when it hits people. And then, of course, there's the merfolk, the merfolk who taps and strips a creature of its text. He works amazingly well with it, just for all sorts of cool tricks where you drop him out, you tap their blocker, you equip, and you swing. Just does all sorts of amazing things to their defense. So that's super fun. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. The midweek version's pretty close. I made a couple of small changes, one of which I'll bring up because it related to something you mentioned last week. So you don't have to be all, all of the color to use the triple color creatures, like the flyer or, for example, the goblin, the
Chain
triple,
whirler. Yeah.
yeah, the chain wielder. You don't need to have 24 mountains. You don't even need to have 20 mountains if you're okay with playing it on turn 4 sometimes. And it seems weird, but having a little bit of flexibility causes almost a pseudo bluff. And so putting a couple of, creature lands in there, because we have the new ones from Spark, helped the deck just a hair. I'm not sure this is the deck is going to ever be a full, A caliber deck, but it's really solid and there's a lot to learn from it. One of the interesting things to learn from it is really how strong, and this came out of last week's as well, almost the underlying theme has been that Karn thing, sort of, I almost call it a mini theme. When I look at a deck design, I look at there being a primary theme and then sub themes. And that Karn Tutor sub theme in the format where we're playing, where you don't need your sideboard for anything else, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, having all 15 slots.
Yeah, I started powering other decks with that combo. Just because you can do amazing things with it. And Spyglass is an incredible answer to, the Super Friends. And I don't know if you've seen or talked to the audience about recently, but currently the Command the Dreadhorde deck, the one that uses the blue-green Planeswalker, to fetch Command the Dreadhorde while filling the deck full of creatures, to pull out, is it hasn't there hasn't been quite enough to make people realize, but it is the deck right now. But there's some answers. The Artificer deck, you just get the 1-drop thing that clears the graveyard. And I don't want to say they scoop, but they're suddenly playing a really bad mid-range black-green deck.
That's this one here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting the Submersibles. And if you're not going to get a Scrabbling Claws. And then they really are in terrible shape against you.
Let's go deck building.
That's part of why we have the set of negates inside the main deck as well.
The gates?
Negates,
yes.
Negate.
I did stream title has changed. Sorry to interrupt, but I did change the stream title. I pressed. Oh, now it should be updated. Anyway, yeah. Let's should we
give it a whirl?
Give this a whirl? Yeah. And then also, so I've played this a little bit, and I think one of the benefits of being a brewer and taking on wacky homework assignments like make this card nobody else is playing work is that maybe you don't find that you broke the format with your Silent Submersible, but it does help you learn about the format, right? You've learned about the power of Karn and the power of the toolbox sideboard in best of one outside of the game type scenarios. And so maybe it puts you on how to, maybe you don't have a new busted deck with Silent Submersible, but maybe you do have now an idea on how to tackle the format. You take the Submersible out of this package and say, okay, let's not force ourselves to use the Submersible. There's a good core here. What else do we want to do, So I like that about taking on some brewing challenges.
I really do as well. I mean, there's another deck which I posted, which we may or may not have time for, but I actually think is probably a tier 1 deck right now, which is just completely out of left field that uses lessons we learned from this.
Cool. All right, well, let's start with actually giving it a shot here. We'll go right into some ranked play. Why not? And I'll update my info here a bit. Sounds like Jay is building a Trojan rabbit. Fetch your lavash.
Reasonable hand. That Tempest Gin is just so amazingly strong, as is, of course, Saheeli.
Yep.
The season hasn't reset yet, to my knowledge. I think it resets at the end of the day.
Sorry, Oppo, playing a little slow, but I'm trying to update some stuff.
We have a little bit of a slow start, so we're going to have to help.
What do you know? We're facing mono red and trying not to die.
That is always the plan.
Tough to do, not have... Yeah.
Tempest Gin's a good 3-drop.
It really is. It's quite a house against red. Most red decks aren't playing Lava Coil. Some of them are, but you generally want your burn to be all face-worthy.
That was good.
So let's just drop the Tempest Gin and see if it can at least draw a 2-for-1. Take 2 cards for Oppo to remove.
Well, and take tempo.
Yep. Sounds like the stream's stuttering for folks. Not sure what to do about that from my end. I don't know if it's worth killing the stream and restarting it. Maybe I need to cut some stuff that's open here. Hold on. What can I close down and make sure it's not on me? Close that. Alright, what are we doing? Oh good, they did stop. What does this leave us for a play this turn? What do you like? One of these Karns? Sai?
So managed to survive.
We're 1-4.
Well, we can't get the mocks, so we don't want to run for that. I would drop out the Karn and, well, you've got the extra land. I'd drop Saheeli.
Saheeli, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Saheeli's going to give us another 5/5.
This should be fun.
Yeah, we're still very much on the D, though.
Yeah, we just want to... Woo. All right, that's not great news for us. But there's no 5 damage spell, so they're just counting on drawing in time here. Yeah, do we have any life gain tools in the board?
There's a 1-drop 3 life.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can get that, and we can even play it.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's there for just this.
Yeah, they're trying to get us in.
I believe you have 2 life. You've also got the one that gives you 1 per turn. But I think you want to get the 3 life just to make sure you're out of the bolt range.
Yeah, agreed. And we need to play the land for that. And this is the right one. Yes. Gotta make sure I'm using the right Karns.
There it is.
Hey, it's my first ever resolved Navigator's Compass.
I think I had a similar thought this week.
No need to make Saheeli turn anything into anything, so we just stay back on D.
But next turn you'll be able to, and that's always nice. Also, you can drop the other Karn and get a land.
We make a submersible and turn a servo into a submersible. I mean, it's not a good attack. I'm just saying we could. It's our card.
Yeah, if he didn't have the chain goblin in the way, it would be a great attack.
Yeah. As it is, if we block with the Djinn, they just get to trade it for the Firebrand. That doesn't seem great to me. But do we have to?
No, you can just drop a 1/1 in the way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, do we just keep throwing those? Yeah, sure.
You're going to have no shortage of these this game. You probably want to grab the Fountain of Renewal and start building up a life total.
Agreed. I think if we just get all of our life gain from the board, it's going to be tough on them.
Yeah. You see how utilitarian that Karn sideboard is? It's
It
kind
really
of
is.
amazing.
I kind of love it. The whole sideboard shenanigans in Best of One makes me happier than it ought to, probably.
I have the same feeling. I hate to say it, but it makes me giggly. And you've got all sorts of good things here.
Should we Ugin away the Chain Whirler and then go... Well, then we can't cast the life
So you're
gain.
at 4 life, so you're actually okay for a turn.
Right. They can't get us on 4, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Ugin.
And I bet they're going to throw something at the Ugin anyway, which is great for us, too. Do you want to hit them for 6 just to make sure they know you're a threat?
We could, if we go for it, they could respond and just kill it, but that would be okay too, I suppose.
That gets us free life.
All right, so we'll go... the non-sick looks to become this. I could have done it with the compass, I suppose. That would have been better.
Some lessons for you all.
That's almost a justification for attacking with both and just going for the win, but...
No, but you're threatening to win on next turn.
Right. So we'll just do it. We have that same clock, but next turn.
Right. Or at least the threat. Yeah, he can counter it.
I guess we need to find an island, though, because we're only... But, okay, so we go...
But you have Karn for that.
Yeah.
You got Saheeli. Get the box.
Sure.
Just another dude out, and it does put you a turn. You may have.
We get the mox or the life gain.
The life gain doesn't immediately give us life, like the first one did.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a toss-up. I would check see if there's anything else we want for a second.
Seems like Oppo's on the verge of scooping, but we'll see what they want to do here.
I will not lose another friend.
Really sorry to hear that some people are having a rough stream. Only 2 people have mentioned stream issues. Anybody else out there also experiencing?
The spyglass.
You wanted to get the spyglass?
You can say the goblin.
Oh, the one that the...
Keep him from sacking them.
I'm going to get Amber.
That's fine.
And
Amber's the safe play, puts another friend out.
Yeah, gets a token out. I like that. I don't personally have any links to Great Bolus's Citadel decks, but you could put it on the list of possible homework assignments.
Yeah,
Spyglass does not turn off light up the stage. It's activated abilities, right?
Correct. That is correct. It will turn off Chandra. It won't turn off, however, the experimental research. As for Diana's the Bolus Citadel deck, I got distracted into Commando World because it's a little bit more dominant.
That's not bad. Gets a bunch of our walkers. Gets 2 of our walkers, but doesn't get Saheeli. Oh, they could come after her. Now maybe we're on Jin gets their plan. But that's rough. That was a good draw.
Mm-hmm. There was a request for the link again.
I mean, you can just mention where you got it. Like, you can either find a link, I guess, but
I can give him a goldfish link.
I mean, I bet Dionysus could actually Google on goldfish as well and find it himself. But if you need us to Google for you, Dionysus, I mean, I know what you mean, though. You're looking for a J-approved list, but I don't know if he has one that he's, like, personally blessed or anything. All right, well, that gives us 2 turns, and we can play Thopterist or Karn. Let's see, we play Karn. What does Karn get us here? We can...
Karn will give us a 1/1 with the Submersible.
Oh, give us actually a 4/4. We've got this and this.
Oh, that's a good point.
And it counts itself. So 4/4 seems pretty good.
I was thinking of the token that we can also... Yeah, there's all sorts of...
So let's... Yeah, we can also get Flyer...
Play Psy first.
Psy can also make some stuff, so...
Right. Let's get a wall, guys.
Yeah, let's do this.
Get the wall and put them on a 2-turn clock.
Now, we don't get both of these, though. Right? So we gotta choose.
Yeah, Karn. Now it's the Karn.
Say hello to my little friend.
I don't like that line.
Yeah, and then we swing and hopefully win.
Yeah, don't bring Scarface dialogue into my Magic. I mean, come on. I doubt Karn, Scion of Urza, has seen Scarface. Breaks the 4th wall for me in a way I don't like to do. Real-world cultural references. Can we hold on? We can! All right. Have you thought much about Pauper? I'm going to give this another shot in this queue. I think we've already spun. We haven't spun.
I have thought a little bit about Pauper. I saw your message earlier, and before running off to my meeting, I was taking a look at what I did for the last Pauper and how it might update.
Yeah.
So I had a green-white creature deck that I vaguely remember thinking wasn't the best in the format, but was good enough to win a few tournaments. And it tweaks really nicely because looking at the new things that were added, there's a couple of really nice new green creatures.
Maybe let's play this game and then go build a Pauper deck on the fly.
That sounds great. Actually, if you want, I will grab and export a copy of the old one, and we can work from there.
Sure.
Oh, red again. You may have to play a 3rd game. I'd like you to beat something non-red so we can show off things.
Well, I'm gonna...
This deck is so fun.
I guess we start... like, Submersible triggers Psy, but we should still sequence for this first, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Sometimes there's things that are so important to the sequencing success that you would put off a 2-drop, but that doesn't seem correct here. Make them worry. Got crew 2, so Psy alone cannot crew, but if we draw an island, we can Tempest Djinn and crew and attack. I think Jay was saying he doesn't really have a list he knows any differently than is going to come up if you search goldfish, but maybe he would. Did you have... Yeah,
I don't have a particular favorite one yet. I've been working off... I turned all my builds into Command the Dread Hordes just because it was dominating, and one of the interesting things is the best card against Command the Dread Horde is to Command the Dread Horde them first.
Right.
So It really wrecks them when they prep for the command the Dread Horde and waste all these cards in their deck for it, and you just command what they did. And basically, I've been building a better Command the Dread Horde deck against Command the Dread Horde. Kind of a weird setup combo, but it kind of works.
So there you go, Dionysus. Jay's best Bolas' Citadel deck is actually a Command the Dread Horde deck. But have you used Dionysus? Have you gone to MTG Goldfish and used their deck? Like, you can look for cards and then find decks that contain them. So you can get a bunch of user-submitted Bolas' Citadel decks via MTG Goldfish. We're going to do it. They don't have great blocks here, so maybe they use removal. But it's going to take them 2 spells here to remove this, so it's good by me.
I've put up a quick version of the green-white Pauper on Goldfish.
Okay.
And that way we can pull that in and start from there. That is one format back, of course.
Right. Oh, I forgot that card. I forgot the Wizard's Lightning. That was the one spell they could have had that was a 1-for-1 for the Submersible. But made him have it.
That's actually fine. You can't do a whole lot about it. If you can draw a card, a bolt from the red deck, you're doing well.
Right. Exactly.
Honestly, this is also doing really well for us. You gotta like our odds here.
Trying to upload a new deck here. All right, what are we at? Oh, they got it. They had to combo though, huh?
They threw 2 cards at it.
No problem then. We're fine with that. So we'll go Psy now, I think, and we'll play a Mobilized District in case we want to activate that at some point.
You know, I hate that part of the arena algorithm where it doesn't tap the colorless land.
Yeah, it's obviously a tough programming challenge to have it be right even most of the time, but clearly I think they could be doing a little better.
Don't play the land quite first yet. Play the Karn to leave a little bit of mystery.
Why didn't deck work? Hold on a second. I'm doing a couple things. We gotta go... Oh no, that's not what I wanted anyway. We want... Sorry, I'm doing multiple things. There's the one I wanted. I'm gonna download that. Okay, back to this. So, what do we want? We want a Karn and then go get the life gain thing again, and then it'll trigger Psy even.
That seems like oh, that's the right Karn. Good, even better. Never mind about the land thing. I'm sorry, I thought it was the other Karn. I was misreading it, looking at your screen.
It's all right. We'll do it in this order here.
I would get the other life gain though.
Yeah, just the ongoing.
Yeah.
It's early enough.
He's not. He does have.
I got Frenzy.
It's that, or you play the Mox Amber. Either choose your poison on this. They're all good.
I take Renewal.
Okay.
We can get Amber next time.
Yep. I sort of missed having discs available to get. Never narrows disc.
Sure.
For those of you who played way back in the time. Dionysus, your idea of experimental frenzy and Bolas Citadel, it's an interesting thought. My concern is, and it may not be a critical one, is that's too redundant. It makes me win more because both of those cards, my plan is just I win after they hit and I untap. But it's possible it could be a positive redundancy as well. I just don't know. That's why we test.
All right. Supposedly that should work. Why didn't it work?
What?
Oh, I'm having the deck Stream Decker suddenly not doing its thing for me. Bummer. Why didn't that work? It worked earlier. Okay, well, let's see. 3/3. We can make a citizen.
I really love Dawn of Hope, Queen.
Yeah, but it literally worked earlier.
You're running low on time.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. What are we even doing? I don't think attacking with the district makes sense here.
You might just grab a card.
Really?
Yeah, you need something. You need to keep playing. You're in an experimental frenzy world.
Yeah. All right, if you say so. Feels... I don't know what we do about that frenzy, regardless of draw.
We give the Ugin. We top deck.
Digging for Ugin?
Yet.
Sure.
Yeah. Or any other power card. I mean, a Jin to kill him with would be fine too. Or just more artifacts. Triple side makes me think that we may want to drop down to 3 on him.
Yeah, it's really a bad multiple here.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and something I try and keep in mind when I'm building a deck is how many copies of each thing you want and what the different quantities are there for. So 0 copies is the easiest. That's just a card you don't want in the deck. Are you activating?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I mean, what else? There's nothing else to do here.
That,
If they trade for it, we can play another one.
that works. We have plenty of land. I played against a copy of it and crushed it. I didn't realize where it came from. I should look it up because I thought the build missed some things. Because I have been thinking about slow land destruction decks. These decks occurred a long, long time ago in a mono red format that started off with 4 and 5 casting costs. They played this giant red thing that killed, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a 4/5 for 5. I don't know if you remember, Ryan, that could
4/5
just
for
leave
5
things on the table. For like 1 red, it could do a point of damage anywhere.
2 points? Was that... no, wait. What?
It was played in a land destruction deck that was really similar to the way the Japanese land destruction deck you're talking about played. Anyway, but there's a pretty good choice in there. That was back when there was the 2/2 haste upkeep guy who destroyed a land. It was in that format. He was for land destruction card. Anyway, there's an equivalent in there that the deck wasn't playing. There's a 4/4 pirate with raid that causes them to sacrifice a permanent, which against a red deck is pretty much land.
Yeah, I remember that guy from Limited. Hey, look, we get to do memes.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Ooh, could get ugly. I wish they'd go after the Thopterist.
No kidding.
So I don't know why this deck command was working and now isn't. Oh, there. Maybe it only works for me?
Oh.
Somebody else try that command. Why is it working for me? And all right, they're going for the Thopterist as well. That's good.
Finally. Do you want to activate, or can you still activate before it goes off?
No artifacts to sack.
Oh no, I meant to the land.
Oh. What does that get us?
I believe the land costs 1 less because of Psi.
Yeah, I still can't.
Okay.
Without it just taps itself, so it doesn't matter.
Itself too. Okay.
So it didn't work for Dionysus. Maybe it's like only I can do it? That seems weird. That's not what the point of it is. I don't know. Clearly I have more Stream Decker research to do. Not looking good for the home team on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you know? The ladder is full of mono red. What jerks. Who would play mono red in the ladder all the time? All right.
A little late for him.
I think we're going to call this one. Let's go... I like this deck, though. We could play it some more, but I also want to dive into the Pauper side of town.
Sure.
So the Pauper list... Oh, sure.
Well, I think you know when the season ended.
Season has ended. I guess we'll open some packs.
I will teach you humility, if I must.
Let's see. So we'll take a look at this green-white. It's just kind of token go wide.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ryan? I couldn't hear over the...
Yeah, sorry.
animations.
Little loud. Wow, it's not even letting me interact with it now. Oh, it'll let me interact with get packs, but not the home button? That's funny. Anyway, I just asking what the theory behind the deck was, but let's import it and find out.
Which one?
The green-white
The Pauper deck?
Pauper deck.
Okay,
And
so
let's
the
see.
green-white Pauper deck. So this was an early deck.
Oh, wait.
I was really...
Sorry, hold on. This is not the deck. Sorry, you can go and explain. I need to adjust though. I pasted the wrong deck in and called it green-white Pauper, and it's clearly not what it is. So I got.
No, you grabbed the green-white control.
Let's see. So anyway, keep talking about what the green-white.
Anyway, so the green-white deck in particular, really it was just trying to build a Convoke deck out of Pauper cards because Convoke was really the most powerful thing. Most of the Pauper decks have an issue with speed, and Convoke, there's 2 really strong Convoke cards. There's Siege Worm and Rosemane Centaur. And it may be stretching it to call Rosemane a strong card, but it is in Pauper format. And Angel of Dawn is also really particularly nice as well, just as sort of a very bad overrun. Combine that with, I love the Lockets in Pauper format because they're just card draw. 2 for 1 again. The Pauper has some heavy attrition elements, and the Lockets are just a 2 for 1. You have plenty of time for it. You've also got good creatures you can build on in the old format.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Spark, there are several neat new things you can do. One of the MVPs that came out as new creatures, and certainly this is very much like Limited that you know well in Pauper format.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they're almost identical. The 2/3 for 3, and I'm going to bring up his name for a second, in green. So let's just bring up Spark Common green, and the...
Okay. Now I've got
There
now
we
I
go.
got the right deck.
Vivian's Grizzly is the kind of name of the card I was trying to bring up.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering that. Yeah, you played.
Yeah, the Grizzly is crazy good. Bloom Hulk is just a good body for the 4/4 for 4. And he's just a step ahead of everything anyway. So I suspect the way to go for updating this deck might be, I mean, you could try just playing it once. But I suspect that a Charmed Stray, basically a counters proliferate efficient creature, would make a really easy way to win early matches in the format while it determines. While the format sort of straightens itself out, green and white just seem to be where the power is lying right now.
Just seeing. I don't like the parallax frames. All right, let's give it a try.
Give it a quick whirl.
We'll try it unedited and then see about changing it.
Right, either a little or a lot, depending on what we need. I mean, it's hard to imagine a world, though, where Vivian's Grizzly isn't just great. I also suspect Band Together is going to be better than Rabid Bite. Although, interestingly, we have some...
Alright, that's better. No. Although it is white mana, I suppose, but we're going to get that from here.
You got it from there.
Here comes the mountain. No. Somebody copying you. Let's go max the mana here.
He's not going to have block it.
I guess we patrol it up.
Mm-hmm.
Five mana, you say? Well, they can't... You send in, they have to trade off for the elf, if but it's only for half a card. They'll just put this token in front of it. So maybe we don't want to do that yet, and we just send in the patrol alone and drop something else after.
I think that's fair. He's going to probably tap what you tap your second patrol, which is what you drop here, and that's okay because we kind of want him to be attacked. If he thinks he's only, I mean, he has to attack, but he doesn't really have the board.
5 mana is awkward with these, but we can play a couple of hybrids and then decide what to do from there.
Well, you can play them, and then you have the threat of, converting them.
I choose not to look too closely at the number of cards in Jay's decks.
So we've talked about the 61 cards before. This is something that's a point of contention. I don't care about optimizing 60 or 61 cards. I try to optimize a deck for the strength of the deck. And honestly, stressing over getting exactly 60 cards is something that isn't worth the time and effort. There's a lot of things I can better spend my time on than meeting an artificial rule that was important back when you had to be the first person to get to Ancestral. Well,
I have come around a little to your point, but I just think just because things aren't as good as Ancestral doesn't mean... I think if you have a clear best card that you're trying desperately to get to, you're doing it wrong to not find a cut to 60.
I agree.
But if
most my
but if,
decks don't work that way.
yeah, but if you've got a lot of stuff that's interchangeable and you just want access to all the parts, it doesn't have as much of an impact. But I think there are lots of decks where it's a big mistake to do so. It's a big mistake to not block and take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're just dead. Anyway, I brought this card up. See, again, I hate my positioning because I bring up cards and you can't see them. But I do like the go wide inspired charge strategy in this format. It seems like it'd be solid.
We have them as well. We just didn't top deck them. Not inspired. We have Voice of Angel.
Got to make some blocks. Want to survive 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This lets us survive.
The 3/3.
The 3/3. What? Oh,
yeah, the tapper.
Do this.
You want him dead.
And that. All right. I think we're done for here.
I don't.
Really? What do you think we're gonna? What gets us out of this? What's our plan?
4/1/1 gets you out. Speaking about a turn late.
Yeah, a little late. A little late. Still cast it though.
Yeah. And it also gives vigilance for the turn.
Yeah. Oh no, it has vigilance anyway, but yes, if it hadn't, it would have been nice.
There we go.
All right, we can go wide a little bit here.
So you see, I'm not sure that we're actually out of this. Actually, I'm not sure we're not going to win.
Do we attack here and then we definitely attack here?
Yeah, you definitely attack there.
What are we blocking? If we attack with both, then they go to 6.
They swing with the wall. They swing with everything.
Swing with everything, and we throw 4 chumps in the way and live, and then come back. Except we don't. If they were at 10, I would like it.
Drops. Yeah, I think you swing with 1, which is annoying, but
yeah, I think that's got to be right. We'll do that at the end of the stream, Dionysus. But you can start campaigning for choices.
Does our angel have vigilance and we not attack with her?
No, she doesn't have vigilance.
Okay.
She grants it when she hits.
She grants it, but she didn't.
So
okay,
now
do a second one. Time to
let's
off.
throw these on all the big ones to start with. And then see where that leaves us. That leaves us with... Don't we... Oh, we can't quite win here. Do we have our own... Do we have charges in here? Let's see.
No,
we can't cast it anyway.
Angels.
Okay, well, an angel is a win, right?
Angel is a win.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll block like this and top deck an angel. Oh, I saw something. I had hope. I had hope. Are we dead? Certainly, we can't kill them, so we'll see. But I think they just get by us. Yeah, they have enough, and we're exposed.
All right, let's try tweaking it a little bit. So it looks like the format has sped up a little bit. Although, in all fairness, we didn't get any of our Convoke stuff. Not that we really went off especially well. We did mulligan, start off after a mulligan, which isn't the best thing in the world for a Convoke deck.
Mm-hmm. What about more go wide? Less ramp, more go wide. Like, you're kind of ramp convoking to make big things. I'm more interested in kind of doing what Appa was doing and going wide.
That seems good. I prefer the angels to the inspired charge, I think.
That I can live with, but let's get rid of the stuff. Like,
right.
Maybe the part, come back to the patrols, but like, sap herds seem really good.
You gotta search on token there.
Yeah, gotta search on token. I can also show not collected in case there's things we want to craft.
Yeah, let me look at it as well.
Martyr, interesting.
So
This makes some. Honestly, thought there would be a white 2-drop token maker, but I guess it doesn't exist in this format right now. Couple of those in. What if we just pulled off the ramp? Could add one of those. Martyrs are interesting.
So the Sergeant of Arms is interesting.
Making 3.
Yeah.
We can do some try it out type stuff.
Kind of interesting. So we got a set of Angel of Dawns.
Mm-hmm.
We've got if we're gonna play the patrol, we obviously want things that are less than 2. And we're building, I guess, a good number of those. So they're kind of a slow overrun.
Here are all of the things that say creatures you control. If we want to think about that, like War Screecher is an ongoing.
Too slow.
Get to 6.
It's a 1/3, which is good.
Band Together, do we want to do that?
Band Together, absolutely. Far better than the rabid bites that are in there. And we don't care about the extra speed.
Yeah, there's gold commons.
What's the one? Yeah.
Wood Shaper? That seems interesting.
Into your hand. Interesting. It is card advantage, but is it better than the 3-drop 2/3? Vivian's Grizzly.
Well, let's experiment with a couple of each, see how they feel.
Sounds good. Actually, the funny thing is it may be right to use a couple of each because Vivian's Grizzlies don't, once you have one out, that's all you need.
Oh, we don't have any of those. You want to get a Viv?
You really should draft that card more.
Oh, I have 4. But I'm a little down on it in draft. That's true.
Really?
A little down. It's just it's a lot. 4 mana for a third of a card or whatever is a rough cost. But if you got nothing else to do with the mana, might as well.
Right.
So.
I mean, it's not Plan A, but it's nice to have a Plan B that comes at very little cost.
I like the enforcers we saw.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get those in somehow. Maybe over cutting away at our 2s a bit.
So the format sped up since last time, which is interesting.
Chaplain, just for... it seems a little weak. You just go for Soldier instead if we want to get some lifelink in.
I don't think we do.
What about Martyr dies into more action?
Only because it dies into flyers, and if so, that's a little bit different of a theme.
This one dies into lifelinkers.
So my concern here, just looking at the deck, is we don't have any meat at all. We don't have anything that'll hold the ground. I would normally go for the
Links.
War Spark, the 4/4 for 4. I don't know if we have enough to keep things stable.
So you're talking about... Oh, I have it filtered to 2s. Talking about this dude?
I am talking about the Bloom Hulk.
Is it just a 4/4 for 4, or are we proliferating anything with any success?
I suspect when we get done with this, we better be proliferating something with success. I'm just not sure what our good choices are.
Yeah, well, we're pretty far off from being a proliferate deck. If we head down that path, we got a lot of mixing around to do.
Oh, sure, but I don't think we're focused on it. It was just right now he's a 4/4 for 4. If you can think of a better body though, in common.
Well, then maybe we could bring back the
we could bring back the other one.
Yeah, the Convoke dude.
Bring back the cheap Convoke dude.
This one?
Yeah, the Centaur. We want 3 if
3?
we can fit on there.
Yeah, we can fit 3. We just got some cuts to make. Maybe Pioneer can go. Right on, that's good. I don't know why it wasn't working before and why it is now, but I'll take it. Do we want to cut the Druids since we're doing less ramp? Like, we're not really ramping?
Let me look what our mana base looks like for a second. So, 22 lands. We don't need all those Druids with 22 lands. We can cut a set. Yeah.
Do that.
We have, 4, 8. We're flat at the bottom. We're kind of a tower, but not exactly, because the band togethers we're going to cast late. Cut 1 band. 4's too many. Then the 4 spots, we have 2 patrols, 4 angels.
So this is 60.
That actually looks right. That's right for the next test.
These also feel pretty much about ramp. Do we want to get something at 2?
Let's look at 2 drops. It might be better. We definitely can't get out of the 2-drop. I
think we need creatures at 2, so let's look at 2-drop creatures.
2-drop creatures and...
Beetle, if we wanted to get into the... there's Pollen Bright's better than Beetle. Pollen Bright's just upside Beetle. Wrangler, Hardy Veteran. It's pretty good at attacking. Better than the hybrids at attacking.
Not what we're looking for. Let's keep going.
First strike attacking. Vigilance.
Actually, we've got the 2/1 who brings the new who gives us a flyer in white.
Which one is it?
Because
it's Afterlife. Is it some Afterlife thing?
2/1, yeah.
There's this one.
No, there's... Oh, no, it doesn't say Afterlife. It was the old version. It's got it written into the text. It's a 2/1. When it dies, put a 1/1 creature with flying. You had actually asked me about it earlier.
I don't remember it.
Didn't we? Oh.
Is it a different CMC?
We found it when we were looking at... I don't think so. We found it when we were looking under token, maybe, I think was the query.
I thought it made the lifelinker. You meant martyr, right?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that makes a 1/1 lifelinker.
1/1 lifelinker. Okay.
But still might be correct.
Yeah, I still think it's better than the other one, given the curve for this.
Let's just trim. Oh wait, we wanted lower hybrids.
We're getting rid of hybrids for this. Drop down to 2 hybrids at the most.
We could go back up on Sap Herd and just leave a singleton.
That's fine.
All right, let's give this a shot. Time to get back in.
We're trying to focus it.
We didn't really adjust the mana either. Oh, we took these out, didn't we? Maybe it didn't update the deck.
Either way,
It's
let's
got
keep it.
more.
Get a great hand.
Yeah, we'll keep this because we might win, but
Yeah,
we
we're
might
gonna
have to.
win fast.
It might lock us in into this deck since it's a tournament style structure.
If you're in a tournament, you can't change in the middle of a tournament.
Yeah. I thought that might be different for this one, but that would require coding to make it different, so of course they wouldn't do that. They would just leave it as is. Let's just move toward cranking this dude out with an elf and
The other elf?
another druid.
Yeah. He doesn't even need Convoke.
Huh. Well, we'll try. Maybe it would make sense to
Well,
be
you
able to
can drop
change.
the other guys first and then Convoke them out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
risk.
Well, oh.
And if they have a shock, they just shock it. But they would shock the elf anyway, right? They have.
Right. It just
Yeah,
double block
it seems like a
him.
free block. You want a double block?
Yeah, kill it.
All right. Then they really bolt the bird. I don't know, Mama. We're getting mixed reports. We'll see if we can change this deck when we come back in. Weird choice from Oppo, but all right. Don't think that went the way they intended. Unfortunately, we can't even power out the Rose Main now. But we can cast
We can put
Hybrid
out
and
2 more
Cowl.
creatures.
Yeah, we
and
just...
tokens.
You want tokens? I was going to go with the Mana Producer, but
Mana
I guess...
Producer makes more sense.
Because then we can try to get the 4 tokens.
Yeah, we might get a 4 and then...
Then this is
dose
just
the thing
GG.
out for gold.
It's certainly a viable choice. Mono red in all formats. From Pauper to Vintage Cube.
It picked up some tools, which it needed. It wasn't very good in the previous format.
Yeah, the common Spectacle Lightning Bolt helps.
As does the
Say no
1-3, the Prophet, the speeding us up.
Yeah, we'll just make the big dude here.
Wait.
You don't like it?
I would
we
put
can't
the
do
tokens
this.
out, then make... Yeah, you can.
Oh, right, yeah.
Tokens and Convoke it.
Well, I was trying to get to 4, that's the thing, but you're right. We should just do
Yeah, and then
it.
just overrun and kill him. You don't... I mean...
I want to
not
overrun
trying
and kill him with 4, though.
Yeah, but put your 4/4 guy out.
Why isn't it letting me do this?
Oh, you don't have white.
Oh, of course.
We had to tap a man. We had to tap a other dude.
Oops. Instead, we'll get in damage. Sweet, sweet damage. I don't. If we homework a Pauper, I don't know if it will be around next week. Won't it change next week? What we can do is look ahead to what next week's will be and homework that.
That would be great.
Somebody look that up. If like next weekend is still going to be this event, then sure. But if not, we should look ahead to what it will be. Okay, well, now we could, if we Parhelion and we still don't have the what it takes, I'm gonna say let's Rose Main. I guess those and this. Sure, I'm going to add green instead of convoking.
It's important how you add the green, though. That's the important thing.
No need to bite here, so we're going to fly in. Yeah, I think in general we should be looking ahead to the whatever the weekend format is and at least be thinking about that on Fridays. So it looks like Jay Singleton is the
I would love to do Singleton
week
for
from
homework.
today.
It would be nice for me to be getting a jump on these. I should be doing that as well.
Do we block here? They're probably just 2-for-1ing themselves.
Yeah.
Which is all
let 'em
right.
2 for 1. If your opponent wants to throw away a card, let them.
Let's go wild. Just using this before I forget. Actually, probably need another plains. We have 2 white cards. Don't think it matters too much in this context. But I want to play this now, and then Angel of Dawn looks really nice.
Yeah, if you top deck a land next turn, even if you don't, Angel might be game over.
Yeah, land would be perfect. Not an Evolving Wilds, but... yeah, see, sorry, Magic Gods, I locked into that. All right, we picked up a win with the original. Now let's see if it is editable. Can we edit? All right, we can edit.
It's...
Oh, but it is our edit.
Right, it just doesn't apply it to this tournament. Or, oh, this isn't... Or is this a tournament?
It's being treated like one, that's the thing. So let's look at... Now let's look at this deck. I think it's just not... You say we can change it, but how?
No, I thought you could. I don't think you're stuck in... That would be ridiculous for you to be stuck in a deck like this forever.
Well, let's try changing into a radically different deck. Like...
Yeah, and then come back.
I don't know how y'all are saying we change this. I'm not seeing it. Oh, we just submit it from here. Okay. Ah, I see. It submits and takes you back here. Gotcha.
I see. That makes sense. Thank you.
I want to see it for myself the other way. Okay, got it. Thank you. Weird. Not exactly the most intuitive, but we have the deck we want. Let's go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Need white. Oh, yeah, let's adjust mana. I think our mana base is wrong because we added more white. In fact, we added
Let's win this one first.
turn 1 white, so...
We're still okay.
Still okay,
We've
just
got
saying.
a couple of turns of play.
I'm not going to scoop, but... If Oppo's going to take this long, I'm gonna go and get a beverage and a snack. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, now we're back, and hopefully Ryan will be back in a second. Are many of the folks in the audience in the Seattle area? If so, there's a pretty good game design conference going on this weekend called EPX over at Digipen, if you're in the neighborhood.
Fungal infection seems good in this format. A lot of 1 toughness stuff to
One of the
get
early
him.
decks that I made had fungal infection, and there was another -1/+1 effect that's out there in black.
Skullduggery.
Thank you, Skullduggery. It makes for a good removal set. So that's interesting. I wonder how many cards there are with a mass in the format now. Um, so the show isn't good enough for worth to flying out for, but it's definitely good enough to drive to if you're local. Um, I'm mentioning, Ryan, that in Seattle we've got ETX this weekend, Evergreen Tabletop Expo.
Excuse me, I'm muted because I don't want my crunching to be annoying. But I saw that you were doing a talk, and I'm going to look into it. I got a busy weekend, but maybe if I can swing over, that'd be cool.
Well, the nice thing is they give out awards for the new tabletop games. They've got a pretty good panel of folks, although Mike Selinker had to drop out from the panel. And they basically, the big part of the show, in addition to their Game Design Academy, is people bring in their own tabletop designs, and they have a panel of publishers who review them, and then they give awards at the end. And they get like 30 or 40 submissions. So it's a pretty interesting thing. They also have an entire 5 or 6 hours. It's sort of like imagine a dealer's room where people are showing unique games, which is a whole lot of fun.
That sounds great. Yeah, tell us about thoughts between Evolving Wilds, ETB Tap, Gates, or just not playing tap lands at all. Where do you fall in a thing like Pauper on that?
Well, it's, all format. I mean, given this format is slower, there's certainly room for a Gates deck if there's enough reward for it. And that's what, I'd have to check. I don't believe there were good common Gates rewards, but I haven't checked, so I don't want to be quoting on that until I find out. Man, that 2/2 flyer with a mass is really good in this format. I wonder if he has anything to back that up with, other than bad control. I think I have envy for his flyer. Blue-white may be a way to go in this format.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm playing that because we can't block anything relevant anyway, so if there's a chance here, it's that we draw.
There's something.
Yeah.
No, that's not the mass one. The hexproof guy is also in that. Wow, I definitely have flyer envy at this point. Change the mana.
What's that?
Change the mana.
All right. Too late.
Yeah.
If it's a terrible opener, I'll just quit.
So it is. The show is a lot of good.
Good enough.
But it's a local show.
I tend to really like to play the lands and gates in Pauper. I think it's worth a speed hit to cast your spells if you're not playing hyper aggro. So I think that might be my line. If you're playing, if you went with a go wide Boros, maybe the speed hit is too much. But it just makes me want to go mono if I'm not gonna play dual lands to support two colors. Because no matter how bad things are, if you can't cast your spells, you're just done for.
So I think we can assume he's playing a blue-green Merfolk.
Yeah, probably.
No. Or maybe a green Merfolk. Maybe he's using him for Proliferate. Yep, Proliferate green. You have to love
do you
the
think?
turn 2 elf.
Oh yeah, you're late, elf, as I always say. We could play it, but we don't really have a turn 4 that, unless we draw a 2-drop, it doesn't actually do anything for
I
us.
think we drop the hybrid.
Yeah, I think we just go hybrid, sap herd, angel, and see if that gets us there. If we draw another land, we get to go sap herd elves into angel.
You're on D. I was going to say to hold that guy because you want to have 2/2/2 threats to block.
I guess I was thinking we're racing here.
Yeah, I don't think we are. I think we're on D and going to win with an overrun, Angel.
Certainly we're doing these two here.
And that I think we have to be racing now, but we hold back the 2/1/1s.
Yeah. Offer these as trades. And then do some chumping. And see if the Angel of Dawn is enough.
Take the free kill.
What free kill am I missing? Let's see.
2/2 on the 1/1.
Oh, sure. Anything else? If we block that, do we need to block this one? Yes, because that's still lethal. Okay. Filster, we do have 4 Law Rune Enforcers and 3 Band Togethers. When you're doing go wide, win with angel stuff, though, you know, the more you cut into your creatures, the more you cut into the effectiveness of the angel. But we get to cast it here, right?
Wait, before you do that.
Oh, you want to do Sergeant?
I was wondering if we can waste another turn, and get a little more damage edge through the Sergeant. Do the tokens hit lifelink that we bring in with the Sergeant?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So we block the 2. He doesn't. Yeah, I think we play the Sergeant and wait one more turn, and we swing with 3. Well, swing first with the 3/2/2s.
Well, then we make 3, and we just chump. We just
And
do
then
chump,
we
chump, chump, chump. Okay.
Right. It just bought us 6. It's just extra life or extra damage on him.
If they get a proliferate, we're just dead, but this does this. We're not dead here. We only look mostly dead.
Right, we look dead, but we're not dead. If he doesn't top deck, he's dead.
Right.
Like that. He can pump, though. But that doesn't matter. Because he can't pump the Leaf Guardian.
What? Oh, this. I see.
The one on the far right.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
can pump the other one. We have to block those 3. And so we were racing. Don't forget to change the mana base.
All right.
We might take a second just from anything we've learned from lessons.
Yeah, we can also. Do we need more removal? Are we willing to cut creatures for, we never even saw a wood shaper, but we cared. We just want to cut those and get cheaper.
I felt like the Sergeant was pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we had the...
This might be slow, though. I think those are slow.
Yeah, the format's gotten faster.
We can even I would rather do like Healer's Hawk to pressure red decks a little bit. That's an option.
Healer Hawk isn't bad. I mean, if you notice, all of our fights have been a bit of a race.
Yeah, and Parhelion Patrol then makes them nice.
Right. Why don't we try a set of Hawks? If we can... I think they're more in... Well, you like the tap guy. I really don't. I tend to run my curve too tight to use him.
Well, let's cut down on one of those.
We don't need 4. 3 or 2 is the right number.
There's 3. And then we were in here for land purposes as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Actually do this.
You're down to 57 cards, so...
Yeah. That's because I cut land.
Oh, okay.
19, 20... This is 22 land.
So I often just let the mana thing suggest and then tweak from there. Just as a shortcut.
Yeah. I jumped right to tweaking.
The base math, and then I see where I want to tweak it at.
Well, I think I like this. Let's give this a try.
I would probably shifted it 1 green, 1 forest to 1 more plains, but...
Really?
Yeah,
I just really want to get the turn 1 elves.
Right, but you have 7. You got 6 other drops. And I hate only having 8 planes to drop those out. I much prefer 9. I mean, I agree the turn 1 elf is nice, but you actually have a reasonable curve even if you don't turn 1 elf.
I'll do it that way. Skimp on an Evolving Wilds.
That works too. 9 is sort of my magic number on turn 1.
I'll update it at the end, Dionysus, but it's a little clunky to update it every time. But maybe I should, because then so you see what we're. I'll look at that after this one. Maybe during this one. Guess we got to keep that. Actually, the trouble is I can't export it now. You can begin your campaigning for a build-around card. Sounds like Banana Jack would like a Muldrotha deck. Good choice. I went Martyr there over Hybrid, so that even with our current hand, we can next turn go Hybrid Enforcer. Ubermensch asks if it has to be a build-around card or a mechanism. I would say find the premium, awesomest, most bullseye card in that mechanism and make that what you're, make that the card.
I'm pretty flexible. You can go with whatever you want. If you wanted to go with a favorite emotion and have me design around that, I'm fine with that too.
Sure.
I think I watched too much Top Chef recently.
Let's see. We can tap and fight and get in. Could make another tapper and just get in and offer that trade. Offer both trades. Let's see. I think
you swing with
just the Martyr.
Yeah, just the Martyr.
Because it makes a replacement creature to get buffed by the Angel.
Mm-hmm. And it lets you tap as an instant at the end of his next turn.
Yeah. Well, I'll put out the Enforcer, and then we have either tap or band together, depending on what we feel is correct. I believe we will be tapping that. Or we can just... No, we don't even have the total power to kill it, so I guess we're tapping it. I'm specifically not tapping the Sap Herd because they want to attack. That's fine with us. Not bad, nice. Not bad.
Good pull. Good pull. It seems all positive.
It's been mono token green. I was gonna say mono green tokens, but it has been mono green. But it's been mono green tokens so far, both in our deck and theirs.
Hopefully we'll top deck a land and make a fat guy.
Jay, if you were designing around the rotation problem that Arena is facing this fall, what would you do?
Which problem that Arena is facing right now?
Cards are going to rotate in the fall that have no format to exist in. Like...
That is interesting. Well, they could make Arena format, and that would probably be the first thing I'd think of. They should have a format with all the cards printed in Arena. Arena Type 1, for lack of a better term.
Postmodern, I like to call it.
That would be my first thought for it. That may be sufficient.
We're going to do... wait, let's see. We might just kill it. We can kill the spider... And then the angel is just putting them on a clock. Let's do that. But I'm going to do with all green.
And then play the 4/4?
Yep. Hey, Birdie Peep, thanks for the follow. Elves have always been a suspect top deck. Let's get aggro here, though. Tap down Thallid. And could even tap down the other, and just leaves them with no good blocks. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get... In fact, let's... Oh, I can't do that. We're going to tap this one. Then they can't even trade with the Centaur.
Mm-hmm.
And we can even offer the...
Yeah, trade.
The weenie trade, because we have an elves to block any potential ridiculousness from an omnivore, but we're at such a comfortable life total, I don't even think that omnivore matters. Looks like it'll get a couple of life here. At least, maybe 4, depending on whether they want this dead or not. Banana Jack says, if they gave us wild cards equal half the cards on our collection that would rotate, that would be broken, right? It would not be good for their economic outlook, and it would not be good for the long-term prospects of the game to be basically saying that you can't just accept that the cards are useless. That would be silly. There's too much value that you've built up into programming these cards to function. So I think it's completely off the table to say what we're going to do is just not let people play those cards anymore, or let those cards fade into true uselessness. Like, oh, you can play it in casual or whatever. I mean, one of the things, I was working on this problem even before I left, so they've been thinking about this for a long time. It was one reason I was asking Jay what he thought. But hey, we got there. Yeah, you really don't. One of the fundamental requirements, you know, again, I talk about game design and design where you really want to start out with your goals and requirements. What are you trying to accomplish, and what are the must-haves of whatever you're trying to design? And one of the immediate must-haves was, for me anyway, that and the team agreed with, was you must be able to play meaningful Magic with every card in your collection. And by meaningful, I mean I want to enter events. I want to. It can't just be, well, technically you can start a casual match with your friend and play that rotated card. That's not good enough. I need my rotated cards, standard rotated cards, to matter for competitive endeavors on Arena. I think that's a fundamental requirement.
And I think the solution that I proposed would certainly meet the criteria.
Yeah, the easiest, that's kind of your baseline starting point would be to say, we're making Arena Modern, and it starts from here. The questions you get into with that then become, as long as we're talking about this, I'll go to soapbox mode for a sec, but if you're committing to that, if you're committing to an Arena Modern, then you have to ask yourself, what is the paper impact? Are you fine having a format that exists solely on Arena and is only a competitive concern on Arena, or do you want to continue to bridge the gap between paper and digital and introduce a format that is on both? You know, so you could make, or maybe you started on Arena and say we're going to have Arena Modern and it's digital only for now, and then if it catches on and people love it, then you port it to paper. That's another approach you could make. But I think that is kind of the commitment there. I don't think you go down the Arena Modern path without intending to make it a paper concern eventually. So that would require OP involvement, R&D, so that, you know, from an internal standpoint, is this a decision the Arena team is making in a vacuum, or is this something they're working with other departments in the company to create a holistic plan for the future? You know, that, because another thing you could do is lean on something like Brawl. Now, Brawl wasn't hugely successful in paper, but if you had Heads Up Commander, effectively, Brawl being standard, Brawl is basically a Commander variant, right? So I think you could also say, well, we're gonna really lean into Brawl and try to make that one of the linchpin experiences on Arena, and then everybody gets to use their cards in perpetuity in Brawl. So that's another way you could go with it.
So I have a suggestion on a similar note.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening, I don't know if you listened to Peter Atkinson's podcast. He just interviewed Scaff Elias 2 days ago. For those who don't know, Scaff Elias was probably the first developer of Magic.
Yeah.
And an interesting thing about this is Richard Garfield, his first Magic, when they did their first expansion, Richard pushed for a different set of rules, which he eventually lost on, with different card backs. So I don't actually agree with the philosophy that anything you do in digital has to be recreated in paper. I would offer the option of Richard Garfield Magic in digital format, because it can be done easily, where each expansion's backs are different.
Mm-hmm. And
players can play and actually have the information of what set the next card's coming in. And that's might be an interesting way to go about doing it, because Richard believes to this day that expansions should have different backs, at least according to Scaff in the interview.
Interesting. Yeah, I know that was I remember in R&D, Mark Globus of, I guess he's former R&D now, was infamous for his loathing of the Magic card back. That it's the antithesis of everything the Magic brand wants to express at this point, in terms of we are badass wizards. You know, we are not wizards. Even sounds wrong. We're badass planeswalkers, and we kick ass, battle style. And then you look at the back of a Magic card, and its flavor is dusty old spellbook. And Mark was in favor of updating the card backs now. Just straight up, not once per set or whatever, but saying, you know what, we still, you know, yeah, this game's been around for 25 years. We're going to go for at least 125. So it's going to be around longer than it, you know, has been so far anyway. So might as well fix it. Let's fix it, you know. I think he lost that fight. But it was, I remember in the context of that discussion, hearing about that very discussion you're talking about, then I now want to go and listen to that podcast and hear about, but basically the debate early on as to whether or not Magic is going to keep the card back or change it every time. And it was one of those decisions like, all right, whatever we do is, you know, is going to stick. So
wait till you hear the interview. The insights on it sounds like Peter tricked everyone into going the way that he wanted to. That basically Peter lied to Scaff and said Richard agreed to it.
Sneaky.
It was just crazy. I mean, you know, all the stories from the really old timers are off the charts. So, anyway, I highly recommend people take a listen to it. Scaff's an amazing person. He invented the Pro Tour.
I was going to say, that's one of his main contributions, is that he was, I don't know who conceived of the idea that organized play was going to be so critical to the success of Magic, but whoever that was so right.
That would be one Scaff Elias.
Okay. I knew he drove it, but I didn't know if he also conceived of the need to drive it. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, he was the only one who thought it was a good idea. I mean, if you think about it, at the time, it was crazy when there was no esports or anything like that. Hey, let's make this competitive game out of Magic, and let's put $1 million into the prize pool. Can you imagine trying to sell that to management?
No. And it's funny all the things you could sell now. Like, also, you remember in the early days of Magic Online, it was like paying money for digital objects. Nobody will do that, you know. Magic has done a lot of things that would have been hard sells, and were hard sells to people initially. Well, this is funny. We're not actually dead because of this. Oh, no, wait. This is a 1-drop, so it doesn't get it, right? Yeah, so even that doesn't work. We're not going to be able to tap that. We can chump, but then I don't know. We don't even have... Our removal suite does not handle this, so I think we're just dead.
I think you're just dead, yeah.
Yeah. There's a reunion barbecue for WotC folk brewing for this summer that... It's funny, they're selling tickets for it basically, but they're going in age order, so they're selling the tickets to the oldest employees first. You know, like like the era at which you worked at Wizards dictates when you can buy the tickets. But I'm hoping to go, and I'm hoping to talk to Peter, because I have a Peter Adkinson. Is it Adkinson? Adkison. It was just, there's no extra N in there, is there? Adkison. I may have told this on stream before, but I'll tell it again. My dad's good friend, Chris, went to the UW graduate. It was kind of like business administration masters, and he had been this friend of my dad's and a friend of mine. He's one of those dad friends who treated me with enough respect and care that I. He was a special dad friend to me because he treated me not like a kid, you know. Anyway, he's a good friend of mine, and He's a doctor and was taking over some administrative stuff at the hospital he was working at. So he was taking this class, and Peter this was 1995 or 6, and Peter was finding himself, I'm sure, at the helm of this crazy exploding business and was looking to improve his own chops on that subject. And so he was taking that class as well. And they went around in one of the early classes and asked people to talk about why they were in that class and what they were doing in their professional lives that brought them there. And so Peter explained his association with magic, and my friend Chris knew that I played and came up to him after class and said, "Oh, my friend's son Ryan is a huge Magic fan. He plays it a ton. So I wouldn't have even known what the game was but I did because of that." So he mentioned that. Comes back, and on the in the next class, he goes to Chris and says, "Hey, I brought something for that friend of yours who plays Magic." And he gives Chris to give to me a sealed alpha starter and 2 beta boosters. Just says, "Here, give these to your friend. He'll think they're great." I did. This was, like I said, 96, 97 maybe. Let's call it 96. It was definitely after Ice Age, but before Mirage. So it's a very specific point in time there. It was like Ice Age
Sure,
block.
but that's still a good gift.
Yeah. And, but I was like, I didn't, should I open it? Do you open something like that? And I'm a collector, so on the one hand, I was like, no, you gotta, but on the other hand, I'm a Magic player, and like, there's cards in there that I would play, and it was so cool, and I decided, let me take this turn here, we just Dawn Attack, maybe? Or Martyr Band.
Martyr Band.
Yeah, let's do Martyr Band, and then we'll ban. Anyway, so I finally decided to open them. I felt like it was in the spirit of the gift to see what's inside, and I think I told myself that as an excuse to have the thrill of opening an alpha starter. Cut to the chase, no amazing stuff. I think like Jade Statue and it was garbage. There was garbage rares, but I did get a Soul Ring out of the beta boosters. That is, and I have a beta Soul Ring in my cube that is from that to this day. But I also sent Peter a incredibly long thank you letter, in which I also made an elaborate pitch for a post-Ice Age world in which the ice had all melted and the seas had risen, and it was going to be this, I think I pitched like a pirate seafaring ship-heavy set. That the idea was post-Ice Age dealing with a water world type thing. And I didn't ever hear back from him from that or anything, but I'm just curious if he even remembers both giving me that gift and the letter I sent back to him. But it was very, very cool. And it would be just fun to let him know, you sent me that, and then I ended up working for your company for 7 years after we had missed each other. But anyway, Peter made my day, made my year, that was for sure. So I was going to band together probably just the Enforcer, but they're pretty choked on mana anyway, and maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we just take out the Sentry, and then everything is a pretty good attack, because even the Elves trade with the Orator at that point. So I'm going to do that, although this also doesn't eat anything, it just is a wall. So maybe it is better to just take out the Enforcer, or even the Orator.
I think all paths win, so
let's do Orator. Orator is the only thing with 2 power, so then everything survives. That's why I ultimately made that choice. Plus, it had nothing to proliferate on this turn.
it should do it.
Now, if I had kept those unopened alpha starter and beta boosters, my kid's college would be paid for. But
So,
that's how that
Ryan,
goes.
as amazing as this may sound, I've played in a beta draft.
Oh, how recently though?
It was in 97.
Okay, still still pretty cool.
It was still, in 97, betas were, the box of it was, I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000. It came out of a sealed box.
Mm-hmm.
It was Pro Tour Atlanta, and the side events, the top 8 people from all the sides has, as a reward, got to play in a beta draft, but they allowed gunslingers.
Oh man.
I was the top player who got knocked out of the Grand Prix by that point in time, or one of the top 8. So one of the people picked me to be the gunslinger for them.
Must be nice.
We opened a Sapphire.
Ah, nice.
And it was Rochester style draft, where the cards are all laid out, and so everyone got to see. My pack, it wasn't my pack that had the Sapphire.
Ah, but the table did.
But yeah, my pack had I had a Vampire and a Lotus, both of which actually went into my deck. I was playing mono black.
Just casually, you opened a Lotus? Like
No, not Lotus. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I opened a 3 damage, 3 damage equal cards over 4. Black Vice.
Black Vice. Gotcha.
The black was triggering. Black Vice and Singular Vampire, both of which were in my deck. I did also have an island come up in the draft.
Oh no, as a rare.
As a rare.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Oh man.
So I had the chance of talking to Jim Lynn, who did the original card sheet layout, about why there was an island in there.
Yeah.
It was kind of a rather interesting story. I mean, there's the elements of, of sheet layout, and they had the wrong number of cards. But the question was why to pick an island specifically. And the answer was, well, we felt lands were the second most valuable thing after rares at that point in time, and island was the best land.
They even knew that before the game was released. The blue was broken.
They did. Well, they knew the Power 9 was broken.
Oh yeah, I know. I love that. Like I've told that story before about how Richard's thinking was basically it's fine to print these broken, overpowered cards because the game is probably just going to be adopted in small pockets here and there where it won't break a playgroup's environment. And if the game explodes and suddenly everybody's playing 4 of this, or they didn't even have 4 of, they're playing infinite of this and infinite of that, well, that's a problem I'd love to have, and we'll solve it then. And that's exactly the problem they got.
Yep. Scath said, if that happens, then we're all rich.
They can't kill this. I guess this is a free attack here, and we'll offer this as well. I'll take that Strix out. Could have done the Grizzly after combat, but we're chatting here, so my play is going to be a little extra loose. Tron, let's see, you're probably thanking, was it Valhalla's Chosen, or now I'm forgetting, but somebody made it rain subs yesterday after I 7-0'd, and you probably got one of those, so thanks to them. No. Alright, where does this put us? 5 total mana. Kind of just want to patrol and an attack. Can't cast the Law Rune and patrol both. We'll leave Grizzly back. And a token back. Oh, it was Motor City Mama. That's right. Thank you, Mama. Apologies for forgetting.
Are you leaving the Grizzly back?
I'm just
swing with a token.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to decide if we need to leave any more defenses back, but not really.
You have to keep him where he's within a turn of death, so. That's all kinds of good for you.
You can play La Rune and band. You can even band at instant speed and probably get a blowout. I'm going to offer the Sap Herd straight up for the Lava Runner, I think, to... Well, let's see. We can go... If we attack with everything, they probably eat one... Nah, we'll leave that back. But I'm going to send these two. I think they'll do a double block on Vivians that we can impact nicely. Oh, a triple block. Still get them.
Mm-hmm.
But to get him, we have to take out the Lava Runner, so it's still a 1-for-1. Actually, if we just take out one of these, we can get a 2-for-2 if we prefer.
I think trading down is a good choice here.
So what do you mean by that?
Just trading down creatures. Trading 2-for-2 is
yeah,
really
so
good.
you like the 2-for-2, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Okay, so then we go... We can even band together later. I mean, we get the 1-for-1 no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
We can band at the end of the turn if we want here, and we do. They both pump. I guess we want that one dead more. Oh, I was thinking we were untapping for our turn. I'm greedy. I'm just time-walking myself. Decent rip. Decent rip for us too, though. Yes, Tron, we are doing a little brewing here and trying the Pauper queue, the new Pauper challenge. It's got to be a pretty good card, or I think we got this. I don't think that is good enough.
It's a good card, it's just not the answer.
They're not dead, but we're still going to apply max pressure here. They get to eat an elf or whatever. Oh yeah, they can't eat, they can't even eat anything. They've got to stay alive. So we'll just go full board, full wide. Nice, but still not enough, I don't think. I guess it's enough for another turn, because we can't attack right now. Interesting choice. I guess that makes sense for finishing with aggro, and also there is going to be a lot of 1 toughness in the format, a lot of tokens. I think a lot of people are thinking along the token line, as we've seen, so interesting metagame choice with the wave as one of the few common, quote, sweepers. I don't think there's anything at common that does 2, though. Is there? There's the
I don't
vapors.
think there is. I was trying to think through that as you were casting a moment ago. And, you know, didn't remember the wave, in all fairness, until he hit us with it.
Still not enough, but I like that. It's an interesting one to think about. Oh yeah, the non-pirate spell is an uncommon, though. That's the thing. Most things that do 2 damage to everything are uncommon. It would just break limited if you could do 2 to everything at common, I think. Or at least it would break most limited sets or make them less fun. All right.
It threatens limited with 1 to everything.
Well, I still have a busy afternoon ahead. We've put in a couple good hours of constructed and chatting here with Jay. I think I'm going to let Jay go and let you all go. But before we do, let's talk about... So Jay's going to think about Singleton for next week, since that's the chapter 3, I guess, next week will be Singleton. So we'll definitely think about Singleton, but also we can throw out a single card or single strategy for Jay to consider as well. Dionysus is excited about this. So we had suggestions for, let's see, Muldrotha, Citadel, and what else was on the list? Was there...
That's actually Frenzy Citadel, I think.
Well, Frenzy. What does he talk? What do you mean, combining Frenzy with Citadel?
Correct.
Well, sure, but we'll still call that Citadel. So I'm gonna go like a 40-second poll. Muldrotha. If I spelled it right, you have to copy my spelling. If I haven't, Muldrotha. I'll say Citadel, and that will imply Frenzy plus Citadel. And Agonies.
He suggested Dawn of Hope also earlier on.
Okay, well it's Agonies plural in the card, but I'm gonna say Agony, Agony as an option, and Hope as an option. And sure, let's go with those 4. So Muldrotha, Citadel, Agony, or Hope. Give Jay some homework. $15 seconds. Handful of voters are going to decide it all. That's fair. Oh, it's a 3-way. Oh, there's no hope. One thing's for sure, there's no hope. But then I'm going to... Sorry, there's not enough people who voted. This gets kicked to Congress, and Vice President Schneider gets to cast the deciding vote. So, Jay, you can take a look at those options on your off time here and decide what sparks you the most and go with that.
Honestly, so the Muldrotha and Citadel have been things I've already been exploring. I haven't touched Agony because it's so off the charts. I may go with Agony because it is so difficult to work with.
You love the agony of the agony. All right.
Yeah, so let me go with Agony just out of difficulty.
All right. It has been decided. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to see who we're going to raid today. Jay, thank you so much for donating your time and brain power to this endeavor.
It is always fun. Thank you, everybody. I will talk to you later in the week and talk to the rest of you all next week.
Right on. Thanks Jay. We'll see you.
Bye.